to this workshop. Today, as per usual, I'll teach you how you can feminize, masculinize, or androgynize your voice. Really, the end goal is to get your voice to where you want it to be, whatever gender perception you might want to achieve. So this is yet another voice modulation workshop. Welcome, welcome. Today we have some very nice guests from VR charity event that will be filming today's session. I know these sessions are already filmed, but this time it will be for a great cause. So I'm taking like a little bit of a promotion here or whatever, sponsor, not official, but you know how it is. It will be a cool charity event happening on November 15th and 16th, which will help support the Trans Academy and these classes as well as Trans Lifeline and perhaps other stuff, but I'm not too privy on all that information. But yeah, 15th to 16th of November, you'll find VR charity event on Twitch by 40 different streamers. So be sure to tune in there if you have the time or want to support a great cause. All right, with that said, let's get started for real. So, first of all, I need to make a disclaimer, as I usually do, about vocal safety and vocal hygiene. So when you use your voice, you want to be sure to always drink some water prior to this. That is because when you drink water, it does not directly go into your vocal folds. The hydration process will happen through the blood flow. So be sure to drink 10 to 15 minutes before doing any voice work so that your vocal folds will have all of the hydration, given to the vocal folds. Other things to mention is stuff such as spironolactone or other, like for example, hay fever medication, although it's not really the time of the year anymore, but certain medications are known to be dehydrating to the human body. That doesn't mean you should stop taking them. No. You should keep taking those medications, whatever reason you might have to take those, but maybe try to work around it. If you can take the medication in the evening and then do the whole voice work, in the morning and the rest of your day, that's probably best. If not possible, you can still try and work around it. If you have to take the medication in the morning, maybe prefer doing some voice work in the evening, and so on and so forth. Another thing to mention that's really important is that certain substances such as smoking or alcohol or also coffee, I know not the same level of substance, but all of these are known substances that have the effect of dehydration on your voice. So, at the end of the day, do whatever you want with your body autonomy reigns supreme, but please try to avoid doing both at the same time. Drinking coffee and then going into voice training might not be the best choice you might make. It won't make voice training or voice use impossible, just a little bit tougher and a bit harder to sustain on a long run. Now, with that all said, let's talk a little bit about what voice is. So what is voice exactly? So here behind me, you'll find on the boards a model. And this model is the power source filter model. Very simply, it aims to break down voice in 3 different parts. 1, the power, which is the airflow in our lungs. We push that air up the trachea, which is this tube here, and then it reaches this box, this voice box. You can find it on your neck, right behind your Adam's apple. And I know for those who might have an Eve's apple, that is also present. Testosterone makes that Adam's apple more or less prominent. But the Adam's apple is really just the cartilage part of the voice box, which we call the larynx. That's a term maybe you have heard. And so within the larynx, you'll find little flaps that will vibrate thanks to the airflow that we provide from below. So with the airflow from the lungs, that's the power, we set in motion and cause or create a vibration of the vocal folds. And that vibration will then create a source sound. And then the next part is the source sound will then bounce around, reverberate in all of this space, which we call the vocal tract. Now, the vocal tract is 3 main parts. We have the nasal cavity, which is the nose. We have the oral cavity, which is the mouth. And we have the pharyngeal cavity. So it's the pharynx right above the larynx. So the pharynx is this tube that's behind the nose and behind the mouth. And so that can also change and shrink in size depending on how we use it. And so this is where it gets interesting, because all of this vocal tract is going to filter some frequencies of the source sound. And so when I do a fem voice, I am basically shrinking the vocal tract and filtering out the lower frequencies and allowing the brighter, higher frequencies to come out. However, if I enlarge my vocal tract by dropping my Adam's apple, so by dropping my larynx, I achieve a much darker voice. And now you hear there is an emphasis on the lower frequencies of my voice. And so by changing the height of our larynx, it's only one of the components that we can change to change the vocal tract size. But by doing this alone, we can already hear quite a shift in the voice. And this is generally the one that most people disregard. You might have heard the term resonance before. This is also what this refers to. Although it's not resonance as in the physical phenomenon. Resonance is more of a buzzword that's used to describe this. It's not the worst word to use, but I prefer to use size and a shift towards a bigger size or a smaller size. So, technicalities aside, let's talk a little bit about why do we do this? Why do we want to change stuff like larynx height, size of the vocal tract? Why do we want to change things like pitch? Why do we want to change things like a vocal fold mass? Well, we have to look at puberty and what kind of biological dysmorphism we get, or dimorphism, we get when testosterone affects our voices. When testosterone affects our voices during puberty, it will impact it in 3 ways. First of all, the vocal folds, well, let's try first. First, the larynx, which is really high up, will drop, which will give you a much darker sound, a much more hollow sound, much more masculine leaning. The second thing that testosterone will do is it will make the vocal folds that otherwise vibrate really fast and at high pitches, they will start to vibrate a lot slower and thus create lower pitches. And the third thing that testosterone does to your voice is, just like in the rest of your body, it will increase muscle mass. And the vocal folds are, also somewhat comprised of muscles. So if you get testosterone involved in there, you get like more muscle mass, and more muscle mass can create more textured sounds, much more heavier sounds, and thus a really masculine voice. And if you want to feminize your voice, all you gotta do is reverse all these 3 things. And if you want to masculinize your voice, you will have, or will want to pursue and aim at mimicking the effects of testosterone in your voice. That is generally how we modify the voice in terms of gender perception, So, with that said, you now have the basis and the baseline of what you need to understand and what you need to know about your voice to feminize it or masculinize it or make it sound really like whatever you want. Okay, so now let's get back to warming up our voices. So, I did mention that drinking water is really good to warm up your voice. That's really important. But what is exactly a vocal warm-up? Well, let's talk about it. A vocal warm-up is something that we do to allow the vocal folds to vibrate in a less pressurized, less stressful environment. The end goal of the warm-up, after all, is to get the vocal folds warmed up, get the blood flow running, get the hydration happening, and get those muscles awake. So, how do we do this? We will do something called a SOVTE, SOVTE, and this stands for semi-occluded vocal tract exercise. That's a mouthful, so I just call it warm-up. The whole point of this is to basically create a counter pressure to the air in our lungs. Remember, we create a voice by pushing air, it sets the vocal folds in motion, they vibrate, and then the sound will be filtered out in a rather small space or a rather big space. But when we warm up the voice, or when we just use our voices normally, we only speak by breathing out. Unless you speak by breathing in, but then you sound a little bit weird. So most people don't speak by breathing in. So that means that you always have to use your voice with a lot of pressure from below. The SOVTE, or the warm-up exercises, aim at creating a counter pressure around this level. So if I do a sound like a zzz, for example, my teeth and tongue are in the way, and so I increase the pressure here, which allows the vocal folds housed in the larynx to vibrate with a little bit less pressure, or at least pressure from above and below means a little bit less pressure on your vocal folds, which can allow you to then move higher up in your range, maybe lower, just have an easier time warming up. So let's do this all together. what I want you to do is just unmute your mic and we'll be doing that warm-up together. I will go first and then you mimic after me. Let's get this started. I'm going to start on an O sound, as in the word oak. Let's go. I go first. Ooh. Let's try this together in 3, 2, 1. And back down. Very good. All right. Next up, I'll do a Z sound, as in the word zoo. Let's go. I go first. Let's try this all together in 3, 2, 1. All right, very good. And last one, we'll do a lip trill. It's basically this sound. We just trill our lips. I go first. Let's try this together in 3, 2, 1. Very good. Good job. Now you may mute your mics again. This is it for the warm-up. Good job, everyone. So, of course, you might want to do a little bit more of this, a little bit less of this. This depends on how much you feel like you need your voice to be warmed up. But I generally recommend something like 1 to 2 minutes after waking up, if you can, a little bit before going to sleep, because this can also set your voice to, be repaired properly for the night. If you do those gentle warm-ups, I guess they're more like warm downs in a way, but you would do this the same way that you would do like yoga after doing like a kind of sport, for example, to kind of like help your muscles relax, etc., etc. All right, so with that said and done, we'll move on to the next part of the workshop. So for those who are not familiar, I generally try to get up on stage 2 people who want to feminize their voices and 2 people who want to masculinize their voices. So I'll start today with masc voice users. If you want to make your voice more masculine, please jump in place, raise your hand, or use the hand emoji. All right, we'll see if we have any trans masc or just anyone interested in making their voices more masculine. All right, I'm not seeing a lot of hands. Oh, maybe here? Novakai. Yes, hello.
Hello.
All right, come up on stage. Come on. Everyone give a big round of applause to Novakai. Woo! All right, Nova. Hello, welcome. Hi.
Hello.
All right. Have you already been on stage before? I'm unsure.
Yes.
All right. Since we didn't have a lot of hands for masc voice, I'll let this one slide. All right, let's try this. So it's been a little while, but let's see how far you've come. I'm setting a little timer so I keep track of time. All right, Nova. Hello, welcome back. So last time you were up on stage, last time you were able to do some voice work. Have you been able to do some voice work of your own in between this session and today?
Yes.
All right. How about let me know how that went? How do you feel about your voice? How like happy are you with like the changes you've gotten? Are you able to use it rather reliably? Or yeah, just let me know a little bit.
I've been it's like I'll go into like random roles and I'll just like mute my mic and I'll start like using a masc voice. I'll do warm-ups in it. I've noticed like my voice getting a little bit deeper than it was before. I've also noticed that I can do it for longer times now too.
That's awesome. Heck yeah. All right, awesome. So let's see. Let's just warm up your voice a little bit. I want to see how far down we can go in pitch and see how far down we can take your voice again. It's been a while, so I'll kind of like see again what your range is. Maybe it has evolved a little bit. Have you been keeping track of how low your pitch can go? If you've seen any improvement in that regard?
I not really have been tracking it just because I don't have any like apps to track it with. I can just like hear it get deeper though.
All right, that's very good. Let's try this together. I want you to mimic after me. Oh,
Ah,
oh,
ah,
oh.
ah,
Good. Oh,
ah,
oh, very good. Now, oh,
oh,
oh, and from here, oh,
oh,
oh, very good. I'm starting to hear the darkness creep in. Very good. Oh, let's keep going down. Oh,
oh.
oh, oh. You did start a bit higher, so we didn't arrive exactly on the same pitch, but that's okay. All right. Oh, let's try this once more. Oh,
Oh,
oh, not quite accurate, but that's all right. How about you instead give me a slide from your highest to your lowest, like a oh.
oh,
Okay, we're at F3. Can you try and keep that pitch and hold it for a little bit? Oh,
oh,
very good. Oh, now can we try to step down? Oh, kind of doing a up and down.
oh,
Oh, okay, we're almost edging towards E3. That's going quite low. Very good. Oh, all right, let's do a few falls. Like, oh, oh, oh. Trying to gradually go lower and lower. Try it out.
oh, oh, oh.
Okay, now we've gone to an actual solid E3 there. Oh, can you try and hold that low pitch again? Oh,
Oh,
very, very good. Awesome. Oh, now from here, can we say, oh, has the slide loaded for you yet?
yes.
Oh, yes, very good. All right. Now from here, I want you to read the sentence. Oh, the store doors creaked more on the fourth floor.
The store doors creak more on the fourth floor.
All right, very good. The store doors creaked more on the fourth floor. So we had a little bit of brightness come back in towards the middle. The store doors creaked more on the fourth floor. Probably the E sound, making the mouth shape a bit smaller and kind of like having you lose a bit of that darkness. I mean, I guess you're losing size in a sense, since, you know, a smaller size generally means a brighter voice, but so much something that you already know. All right, let's see if we can get together a darker sound still. Let's do this. Can you give me a whisper on the first words? So like, the store doors. Try it out.
The store door.
Okay, the store doors. I can tell you already are going dark. Can you give me a really bright version of that? Like, the store doors.
The store doors.
Very good. And I'll say just the word store. Store. And we're going to try to take that down. So, store. 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 Try it out.
Door. 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 Door.
Oh, that last one is really dark. Store. All right, let's try to keep that same dark O sound and try to say the whole sentence on that same darkness. Store doors creaked more on the fourth floor.
on the fourth floor.
Hey, that's really good. It was kind of funny. The was like, and then store doors, super dark, very good, awesome. The store doors creak more on the fourth floor. Awesome. So as you do this, do you feel how your Adam's apple like stays all the way low in your neck, or like mostly low, I would say?
Yeah.
All right, very good. Do you use or still use the technique of having your hand on your neck to kind of like check where your Adam's apple or your larynx is at any given height?
Yeah, sometimes.
All right, very good. Oh, all right, let's do some more of this and then we'll wrap up. Okay. So now let's take the word store. Store. Real dark. You can still use your hand if you want to make sure that you stay really dark. Store. And we'll bridge that O into a dark pitch, a dark and low pitch. So here the low pitch would be O and E3. Let's try this. Store. Store. Try it out.
Door.
All right. Careful here, you did this. Store. On the R sound, you kind of went brighter. So try to make that R sound dark. Store. Try to hold the dark R. And then close the vocal folds on this. Store. Try it out. Find the dark whisper again. Store.
Store.
Yeah, see? Store. It's like your R sound. It's kind of like brighter than your O sound. So try to give me a really bright R sound, like yard, we're pirates. Yar. Like femme pirates. Yar. And then we go yar, 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 yar. Hear how it's not just the ya sound that's impacted, but also the R sound. R, 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 R. Try this out.
R, 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 R.
Nice, very good. And now store.
Store.
Store. It kind of went brighter again. Store. All right, so that's something like you achieved a really dark R sound, and then when you jumped to the voice, you kind of you maybe lost that position. Perhaps you like reset something, but you went from that was really dark R sound, and then right, so it went brighter. Okay, so it's something for it to work on still, I would say, to like properly bridge all these sounds from that dark whisper to a dark full-voiced sound. But, you know, with practice, you can do quite some bit. First of all, also, like, you reached E3, which is a pretty low pitch, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure about this, but, like, that's a pitch that you've not really been able to reach before. So is that like an improvement of yours? Again, you did say that you don't really track pitch, so it can be a bit difficult for you to know what your progress is at. I would definitely recommend that you do some practice with pitch monitoring software. Otherwise, how would you know how far down you're going? But E3 is a really promising sound to have. Like E3 can sound really masc like this, or sound really femme. So it's like at the edge there, but like it's, I would say, reasonably comfortably good pitch to be in a masc voice. So right. Okay, let's do one last one. Attempt at that sentence. Let's go dark. Store, store, store. And then store. Oh, the store door creaked more on the 4th floor.
Door, store, store. Door. The store doors creaked on the 4th floor.
Yeah, that's very good. Awesome. The store door creaked more on the 4th floor. Let's try to make the word store a little bit louder, a little bit thicker, like adding a bit of that vocal fold mass. So here on the O sound at E3. Oh, we're gonna try to kind of like if you got punched in the gut, like
Oh. The door creaked more on the fourth floor.
Have more of the texture of that vocal fold mass. Give that a try.
Or.
Give it a try.
Or.
Yeah, very good. All right, and now try to hold that O sound.
Door.
That was a bit relaxed. I like the I heard that increase in weight a bit more. Try to do that again. And then try to hold that sound. All right. Compared to like how you would normally say it.
Or.
Okay, yeah, so there's a definite change and a definite shift here. It's always a really good idea to like go across your range because you never know where you exactly are at, right? Like, is this a bright voice? Is this a dark voice? Doesn't really mean a whole lot. It helps if you have like reference points, right? I can tell that this is a bright voice. This is a bright voice because I can tell it against. This is a bright voice. No, this one isn't. But this is so you can hear like the same pitch and the same words. This is a bright voice. This is a bright voice. So having like these little steps here can help a lot. That's also the case for vocal weight. I don't know what your range is like. Mine is really great. I have like a lot of testosterone that impacted my voice during puberty, so I can go from to a really thick sound and then back right? So it can be good for you to try also like gradients like this to help you find and be more reliable with these thick sounds. But you did manage to get it. I know some people don't even get to find that thickness in the first place, so that's something for you to explore, Nova. All right, so at the end here, I would say you have a really good ability at going dark. I would say maybe some sounds like the R sound and maybe the E sound as in creaked, the R sound as in store. These might still have to be worked on a little bit to achieve those to be darker. And most importantly, like if you find a dark position like R, try to like freeze frame there. R. Think about the sound. Think about how it feels like. Reset your voice. Then think again about what you just did. And try to jump back to it. This really dark R, for example. And this will help you like achieve those dark sounds faster and more reliably. And kind of like train your muscle memory in that regard as well. Okay? Alright, that's pretty much all the advice I got for you. You did really well today, Nova. Alright, I hope I'll see you around, and best of luck with your voice practice. Everyone give a big round of applause to Nova! Woo!
I'm ready.
Alrighty, that was awesome. Okay, next up on stage, I'll see someone who wants to feminize your voices. If you want to feminize your voice, jump in place, raise your hand, or use the hand emoji. Alright, I saw Chloe Waffles raise her hand before you. I'm so sorry, Foxy. Alright, Chloe, come up on stage. Come on. Alright, everyone give a big round of applause to Chloe. Woo! Alright, welcome. First time here on stage?
Yes.
Alright, awesome, perfect. So, I'll start a timer and we can go. Okay, so Chloe, welcome. First time in one of these workshops at all? Or you've been around a bit?
Yes.
Oh, really?
No, I've never trained my
wow.
voice.
That's crazy. Okay, have you done any voice training prior to this or completely new to this?
Yeah, I'm pretty new to this. I've had some experience in the past, like watching videos of trans women explain voice training, but I never really like actually did it.
You like know a bit of the theory, but like have you practiced it?
Yes.
That's the thing where that you haven't yet done.
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, that's awesome. Do you have any experience with maybe like music theory? Just like, you know, like C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C? Just like to know about the pitches. Is that something you're familiar with?
Yeah, I've familiarity of it. I've played piano in the
All right.
past, so yeah.
All right, perfect. Have you already done funny voices? Maybe like a Stitch voice or the Column voice, Column. Have you done any funny voices?
Yes,
prior to this?
very good Stitch voice. Ohana
Yes,
means family.
Ohana means family, and
Yes.
family means that no one gets left behind.
No one gets left behind. Yes.
Two Stitch on stage, woo! Okay, that's awesome. All right,
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear this because that means that you already have some connection to your voice. That's not just like,
I never use anything beside this voice, and so
Right.
yeah, it's always helpful to have a little bit of a connection to some other sounds. All right, let's see what we can do then. So,
Okay.
how familiar are you with theory? Are you familiar with terms like vocal tract size or brightness,
no,
darkness?
Yeah, no, all of that I'm very new to.
All right. So very simply put, let's go back to this. You were here at the start at the very least, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then you already know that when we want to feminize our voices, we want to reverse the three effects that testosterone has on our voices. Namely, testosterone makes the vocal tract
grow larger, which makes our voice darker. It makes the pitch go from really high to really low because the vocal folds lengthen, and so because they lengthen, they can vibrate a lot slower. And the third thing is vocal folds with testosterone have a little bit more muscle mass to them, and so they can create more textured voices, right?
And all these three things together make up a masc voice. So we want to basically revert all three things here. So let's see. First of all, I gotta ask, have you already done some femme voice of your own before? Not
Yeah,
putting you on the spot here. Oh yeah?
No.
Okay.
I've tried it, but I don't have experience.
Okay. Do you feel like you'd feel comfortable doing this? Or would you rather like we do this together from the ground up?
I think together from the ground up, that would make me feel more comfortable.
Gotcha. Then we'll be working on the first and most important part of femme voice training. So, let's first find a pitch that works well for the both of us. I'm going to ask you to mimic after me. All right. Can you match this pitch here?
You're here. Let's go.
Good. This is an F sharp free. Very good. Let's do it again. Very good. Now this is an F sharp free. This pitch can be both be
really dark like an opera singer. Or it can be
really femme, like in a femme voice. And so how do we get from
that to
that without changing the pitch? Well, we'll be using whispered exercises or voiceless exercises. The whole point of using these voiceless exercises is for you to hear how you shift the size of your vocal tract. By shifting towards a smaller size, you will achieve a brighter voice. And so right now your voice is kind of like idling in the medium or low position of the larynx towards a darker sound. So we'll try to work on that. Whispers allow us to not hear the vocal folds vibrate, so we can focus on just the brightness of your voice. Let's give this a try. Can you give me a really quiet and gentle
pot, pot, cat
on a whisper? Give it a try. All right, very good. Oh, please, can you make sure that your noise settings, your sound settings or your mic settings on vrchat are set to, turn off noise suppression, and that the mic activation threshold is all the way to the left to 0%.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Noise suppression off.
All right, awesome. This will help us a lot with hearing those really quiet and gentle whispers. So let's go
great.
back.
pot, thought, cat.
Very good. And we're going to take just the word pat, and we're going to go from this really dark pat towards
Pot, pot.
towards a really small pat. Try it out.
Pat, 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 pat.
Very good. Careful here at the top. Pat, 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 pat. I could tell you have like a bit of constriction here. I can hear some phonation in there. You want to keep the whisper free and open. If you get this this squeezed sound, it's going to carry over to your voice and probably cause some stress. So be sure to try and go for the softest, quietest whisper. Do not aim for I mean, I get it. It's louder, so it's easier to hear what you're doing, but it will tire out your voice really fast. Whispers are drying to the voice, so you should use them only for exploration purposes. You should try and avoid doing them too much and too harshly. So let's try and keep those quiet. Instead, try to go for
Pot.
shush, shush. Okay, good. From dark pat to bright pat. Try it out.
Pat, 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 pat.
Okay, we kind of had a family there at the end.
That's hard.
Pat. I mean, we must have done something right in this case, you know. An accident, but it works. I would still say that the whisper was a bit too strong still. Or is it that your whispers are not coming through when they're too quiet, perhaps? I don't know. Could be, because...
I'm not sure. This one's a little hard.
I know, that's okay. The way you can look at this is think about like your breath, right? Like as how much air you're spilling at once. You can breathe out all at once, like... Or you can try to make that twice as long. Or you can make that twice as long. And so on and so forth. And the longer you can do this, the slower the airflow gets. The slower it gets, the quieter it is, and the less harsh it is on your voice as well. So try to give me a really slow breath, like... Well, it's not even coming through my mic. It's that quiet. Give it a try. All right, that does already sound more gentle. So now, small P's, so like not a p, 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 but a gentle P sound. P, 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 p. Very good. And now, p, 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 pat, cat. Okay, I didn't hear the whole of it. I think despite your noise suppression settings being set properly, your mic, your headset perhaps, or whatever's going on might still cause noise suppression to happen. But that's okay. We don't need to worry about this. All right. So now I want you to take a look at the board here. We have a sentence here. That mat brat sat on that flat mat. Recognize it. On pat, that cat. We have the same vowel sound. It's the ah sound. The whole thing here that we're doing is we're keeping it vowel neutral. We're avoiding changes in vowels so that when we hear a brightness shift, we actually know that it's not happening from our mouth changing shape, okay? Okay. And so what we're doing here is keeping our tongue in a neutral position. So we're actually only manipulating the height of your larynx, okay? I mean, changing the size of your mouth can also be somewhat important in terms of like pronunciation and getting even brighter, but I try to avoid it at first because we have a lot that we can get in terms of feminization with just the larynx.
So I have experience of raising the larynx and saying like one phrase I've tried to do. And I can do it, and then I've been trying to say this phrase as a warm-up, but then carry it into these types of phrases. But like, I'll go into all right, hello, or like, all right, hello, and raise it
all
up.
right. All right. Hello. It's kind of bright. It is a bit like it is like going like a bit like. All right. Hello. Oh. I can tell like on the
Mhm.
on the O you're going lower in pitch. Oh, but you're changing the pitch a lot. So
Yeah.
have you already done the same? All right. Hello, but like in a monotonous way.
All right. Hello. Mm,
All right, hello. That helps a bit. All right, but let's keep going for the
Cool.
for that whole pat the cat sound. Now let's try this really bright small pat. Pat pat pat. Very good. And now try this. What's the pitch that we're working for? Let's go for a G3. Let's try this. Pat that cat.
Pat, cat.
Careful, you're really low in pitch here. All right, let's go back up. All right, after me. We're here. Let's go up. All right, let's hold that pitch here. Careful. It's dropping a little bit. Let's go back. Yes, and now try this. We're gonna go from that back into a whisper. So it's gonna sound like this. And then we're gonna hear the whisper. Quite dark. Okay, we didn't quite get the whisper. You must have been lacking air here. So make sure you have enough air for this. Good, and you can hear that the whisper that's resulting here is quite dark. So then what we do is and then and then we bridge back.
Okay. Sorry.
I know, it's a few steps. It's because I wanted to match the pitch because we kind of like have jumped back to C3 and we want to be at F3. So
Okay.
that was G3 actually, but never mind. So so really quick, it's like yes, very good. And from here, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Yes, very good. You got it. All right, and now I'm gonna do the the nemesis, which is moving the pitch around. Let's try this. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Da 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 da. Try it out.
That. Oh my gosh.
Set the that properly.
That mad brat sat.
No. Okay, it's okay. You kind of lost the structure here. It's all right. It's all right. And I see you keep looking there. You you must be a bit stressed perhaps from stage, but you've done really well so far. I wish you told me that you already had like the all right, hello, because there is actually already like quite a solid baseline there. I just think that because you're modifying the pitch, you're kind of like losing that structure. What I would advise you to do is you've done a flawless that mad brat sat on that flat mat. Really good. Maybe it was leaning a bit more like that mad brat, so maybe you could soften up the voice there from that mad brat to a that mad brat.
Sat on the flat mat.
All right, and then rest and left hand. That's pretty good too. And so what I would recommend you to do is to like use a pitch monitor software and just try to like go for different pitches, like that mad brat sat on that flat mat. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Going all the way up, pitch by pitch by pitch, so you have an experience doing every pitch across your range, but keeping bright. Yes.
And what do you usually want to see on the key for a feminization range?
I would generally recommend. I have a slide for this. I would recommend anywhere from like E3 to E4. Yes, like these are common socially gendered ranges, so don't take them for granted, okay? Like statistically, you can find people that are mostly in these ranges for masc or fem. So E3 to E4 for fem voice, F2 to F3 for masc voices. But let's be honest.
If I'm like all the way up here to say a C#4, if I talk all the way up here, I do not sound feminine in the slightest because I have this really big vocal tract size. So like even if I'm at a really high pitch doesn't mean that my voice is immediately femme, right? You know.
And similarly, if I am I'm talking at E3 right now, but I could technically go no, talk all the way down to like B2, and you would still have a femme voice, although one that's like more mature, like I guess lower in pitch, but still feminine leaning, right? Because I'm still checking the marks of bright resonance, of a smaller vocal tract, and of a softer voice. So take these with a grain of salt, please. They're not like the growl. They're not like the main thing to look for. But as a suggestion, E3 to E4 I think is a good range. Typically, I would even say maybe try to practice from F3 to C4, because you still got like the black keys in there. So like F3, F#3, G3, G#3, A3, A#3, B3, C4. And anything above that, you could maybe trigger like your falsetto. So like your M2 range, you know, after the voice crack. And so you want to be careful not to practice up there because that's another can of worm. It's good to practice it on the long run, but for starters, I would say to mostly avoid it. All right. That's my advice for you, Chloe. I hope this has been
All right.
helpful. And
you so
I
much.
hope you're super welcome. I wish you well on your voice journey. Everyone, give a big round of applause to Chloe. You are really brave. Woo!
Thank you.
All right, that was awesome. All right, next up on stage, I want to see someone who wants to make their voices sound
more masculine.
If you want to make your voice sound more masculine, jump in place, raise your hand, or use the hand emoji. All right, I saw someone jump, but I think that was maybe a mistake. That was, yep, okay, I see saying no. Maybe someone who is interested in making their voices more androgynous. Let's see, can we surf in the non-binary sea of voices? I don't know. Anyone wants to make their voices androgynous, perhaps? Nope. All right, I guess maybe we do extra fem voice rounds today. So, fem voice users, if you want to practice your voice, okay. Let's see. Foxy Lover, have you been on stage before?
No, it's like my first time, so I'm just excited.
All right, come on, come on. Everyone give a big round of applause to Foxy. Woo! All right, hello. Oh, I'm hearing some feedback from your mic.
Yeah, no, that's, I live in a very echoey house. And to do this,
Oh.
I have to move to rooms,
You d-
and my
You
computer
do not have a
is
headset?
not being plugged in at the moment.
Oh, yeah, that happens. All right. Let's wait up.
Okay, got it.
Oh gosh, I'm hearing the whole house. Oh, technical difficulties happens.
Yeah, I moved. We're good.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh gosh, okay, I still hear the feedback. So what I'll say is just like mute your mic when I'm speaking and you can unmute when you're doing the exercises, okay?
Okay.
Let's do this. Setting a timer now. Let's get started. So, all right, welcome first up on stage. I'll have to ask you a few questions first. Have you done any voice feminization of your own prior to this?
Yeah, I practice a lot. I actually do a very good falsetto, in my opinion.
All right, very good. So, if you don't mind, would you feel comfortable showing me what kind of voice you already have going on for yourself?
Well, I have my normal voice, and then I have a high voice. It's not exactly something I can work on, but close enough.
All right, not bad at all. I think we have some solid basis. So high voice, and then you kind of like trail back down. I think because you just wanted to you hold it for a very short time, but we'll see what we can do here. So I want you to match my pitch right after me. Okay, so we're here. Let's try to go up. Okay, so the pitch is here. F sharp 3, very good. And now, from here, let's start just to say, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
All right, very good. Now, you might have noticed, like, the pitch is right. That mad brat sat on that flat mat, but it's still like, that mad brat. We still have this really big vocal tract. So, how would you go about making your vocal tract smaller and achieving a brighter voice?
I don't do it very often, but I've noticed doing some practices beforehand helps a little bit. But in this case, I'd have to shorten my words since I didn't hear much of a difference.
Okay, shorten words. Interesting way to look at this. How about using whispers to tune your brightness? Something you've done before?
No, not really.
All right, then let's do this. Take your hand and put it on your neck. Can you feel the Adam's apple there?
Yeah.
Awesome. I want you to give me a big yawn, like a... Good. You should have felt it shoot all the way down. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So now I want you to give me a really dark pat sound. Let's pretend we're Darth Vader. Very good. You should feel that your Adam's apple is really low as you do this dark pat. And now let's try to scale that to a brighter pat. Let's try this. Pat, 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 pat. Try it out.
Okay.
That's very good brightness. However, be careful here, as the pat you're doing is pat, has a lot of air. That means that your voice could maybe sustain some pat breathiness once you close the vocal folds, or there's a potential that your vocal folds increase in weight, pat, to a really thick sound, instead of a pat to a really thin sound. It sounds softer. So try to make that same bright pat a lot softer. From pat to pat. Yes, that's the right idea. And now let's try this. We're going to close on the whisper, the vocal folds, like this. We're going to go whisper, breathy, and balanced voice. So it's going to sound like pat, bat, cat. Give it a try.
Okay. Cat.
All right, that was the
Sorry,
right
I didn't hear
idea.
you very
However,
effectively.
sorry, what was that?
I didn't really hear you that well, so I couldn't tell what you were saying.
All right, I was just saying pat that cat, but it's okay. Something you did right is that you went from whisper to breathy to full voice or to balanced voice. However, like that's the way we normally talk right now. But you went for a C sharp 3. That's a really low pitch. Like, whilst it's theoretically possible to feminize C sharp 3, it's quite hard. So I would rather advise that we try to go for that higher pitch that we did before. Let's try this pitch. Oh, okay, lower than that. Oh. Okay, so right here. Let's go up. That's not free. Let's go a little bit higher. Okay, very good. You might notice that the higher in pitch you go, the harder it can be to sustain it. I heard this like, right? That's because you have a lot of vocal fold mass. It's easier if you push less air. This can motivate a softer voice. Instead of going for and struggling on the way up, you can instead try to go for a softer sound, which makes those pitches higher. Those higher pitches easier. Give that a try. Yes, very good. And can you give me that last pitch again here? And say, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Sounds great. Awesome. Let's try to modify the pitch a little bit. Da da da. That mad brat. Try it out.
That mad brat.
Careful here. That mad brat. It went all the way down. Da da da. That mad brat. Try it again.
That mad brat.
Ah, close. That mad brat. The pitch was right, but because you went lower in pitch, you kind of didn't go for a brat, but you went for a brat. So you kind of like lowered, your larynx kind of dropped. This is why you can keep your hand on your neck to kind of like feel for the height of the larynx to be sure that you are not letting it drop over time. Okay? So let's try this. Give me a whisper on that mad brat. So, that mad brat. Really bright and soft. Good. And now, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Flat mat. Sat on flat mat.
Okay. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. So we're going back down to like lower pitches. But it was always pretty good. Okay, let's try this. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Going up a pitch each word.
That flat mat sat on the flat mat.
Very good. And back down. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mat. I keep saying mat instead of brat.
It's okay. It's okay. What matters is the sound, not the word.
No, that's
Try it
just
again.
stupid. That mad brat sat on the flat mat.
Oh, that sounded so good. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Awesome. Let's try this. That mad. That mad.
That mad.
Okay, that mad brat.
That mad brat.
Okay, very good. And now, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That was really good. Careful though at the end. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. It went back to like a lower pitch to more vocal fold mass and to a bit of a darker sound. So like with a larynx that dropped a little bit. So as you can tell, you were able to do quite some feminine sounds there. Like on the that mad brat sat on that flat mat, right? That was really good. And also just on the monotonous that mad brat sat on that flat mat. I think that what happens is once you take things outside the practice context, you end up, kind of letting the old behavior come back, right? Like you probably use your masc voice 90%, 95%, 99% of your time when you speak to other people. So I can only imagine how your brain is like, yes, let's do this, but oh, we're speaking now. We're saying the sentence normally.
Ah, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Oh no, right? Your old behaviors kind of override what you're doing so far. You're kind of juggling with the brightness, with the pitch, with how soft your voice is as well. And so it can be a lot of variables to play around with. This is why you've noticed we went only for the ah sound, and we first went only for a strictly monotonous pitch, then we strictly went up and strictly went down. And as we started to introduce that mad brat sat on that flat mat with more normal sounding intonations, more natural sounding intonations, well, the natural part of your voice kind of took over again and made your voice more masc, especially towards the end. So for you, what I would recommend is pretty much the same that I advised to Chloe, which was to practice speaking monotonously at different pitches in your range, from E3 to C4. If you're not familiar with pitches, I would still, recommend that you kind of look what an octave is. Are you familiar with music theory at any level?
The only theory in art that I know is literal color theory, so I'm afraid not.
Okay, so very simply put, right? If you look at this slide here, pitches and musical notes are split in octaves. So it's 8 notes. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And then it loops over and over again towards the 4th octave, 5th octave, or down towards the 3rd octave and the 2nd octave, and so on and so forth. And so there are just 8 pitches. And so you will want to kind of be in that area of pitch. Pitches in music theory are helpful to make music, but they refer to the vibration rate of the vocal folds, right? So, for example, A sharp 3 here is equal to 230 hertz. That means the vocal folds open and close 230 times per second. That's a little bit theory that you might want to know or not. This is just me nerding out on this, really. Not really necessary, but this is the whole idea, right? Because physically speaking, testosterone makes the vocal folds longer. So with longer vocal folds, we can achieve lower vibration rates. And so because most feminine voices have not had that testosterone exposure, you kind of expect in the gender reading of a femme voice to hear higher pitches, because that is the sign of generally shorter vocal folds vibrating. And so in your case, you would want to be in that area. We've practiced around G3, I believe, during this practice, and you noticed that just going for this high pitch combined with a brighter sound already did a lot for your femme voice. Sorry, you were going to speak?
Sorry, I thought you had something to say, and then I just waited for you to continue. Then I was like, oh wait, it's my
Sorry.
turn, and I go to speak, and
Yes.
you're just like,
Do you got a question?
oh, no, I was just wondering if you were going to say more or not.
No, I'm pretty much done here. I think you have a pretty solid baseline for femme voice, all things considered. You are doing really well at keeping your Adam's apple high and keeping your vocal tract size small and keeping the sound bright as a result. And so what I would recommend is kind of play around, keeping the pitch monotonous, so a G sharp 3, that mad brat sat on that flat mat, that mad brat sat on that flat mat, that mad brat sat on that flat mat, that mad brat sat on that flat mat. And if at any point I get that mad brat sat on that flat mat, I'm like, okay, this doesn't sound as femme as the other ones, then I can try to do extra work on that pitch. That mad brat sat on that flat mat, by using the whispers as a way to tune the height of the larynx, as a way to tune how bright our voice sounds. Okay? That's pretty much all I got for you, Foxy. All right. Everyone give a round of applause to Foxy. Oh, you went so quickly. All right. Woo! Good job, Foxy. All right. So, last but not least, we'll go for the last person up on stage. So, if you want to make your voice sound feminine, jump in place, raise your hand. Or, all right, I see you here, Mythostropic. Yes, have you already been on stage before?
I have not.
Oh, all right, come up, come up. Everyone give a big round of applause to Mythostropic. Woo! Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for setting the settings properly. Setting the settings? What a way to speak. All right, so I'm going to set a timer here. We're a little bit behind on time, but we should be fine. All right, so how about you let me know kind of what your experience of voice is so far?
Yeah, I've been training for about 2 months, and I've watched a lot of content on YouTube and stuff. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right, that's awesome. Have you done any voice training on your own before? Or just theory, no practice on your own?
No, when I mean voice training, I've been like actively trying to do it every day.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, in that case, I would say, where do you feel you are at? Because you said you've been practicing quite a lot, so you're familiar with concepts such as resonance or vocal tract size. You're familiar
yeah.
with concepts like pitch and vocal weight, yes?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. So then, in that case, let's see. Would you be comfortable with showing us where your voice is at in a them setting?
Sure. So.
All right. I'll give you some sentence to read if you want. Or you can just go for like a, hello, how are you? Or, hi, my name is Mitha. Or you can say, that mad brat sat on that flat mat. Whatever you want to say.
It's easier for me on hello. So, hello, hello, hello.
All right, so hello, 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 hello. We still have a slightly dark sound. So let's try to brighten your hello here. Hello, 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 hello. I want you to focus on the H sound. The H sound is a whisper. Right? So that H alone can also be brightened. You can take that H, make it really dark. How would Darth Vader breathe? Ah, yes, that's right. Very dark, really big. So we take that H sound, or rather, hello, and then we go smaller and brighter. Hello.
Okay.
Try it out.
Hello.
All right. Hello. Just do it on a whisper first. Very good. Now compare that to a dark whisper. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
All right. Give me a dark whisper now.
Hello.
Okay. Hello. Good. Nice. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello.
All right. Very good. Hello. And now from here, let's try to aim for this pitch. Yes. And then hello.
Hello.
Okay. Very good. That's awesome. All right. And now with that same position, same posture, let's try to read hello. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Okay, interesting. So we got a bright sound. That mad brat sat on that. However, your voice sounds like this. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. So we kind of have this kind of falsetto sound. So this is what I mean when I talk about M2 versus M1 or falsetto versus modal voice. When it comes to like voice range, right? We can go all across our range like whoa, right? All the way across. But for most people who don't have any prior voice training, they can do things like oh, and then like a sudden jump to like higher pitches. That jump you hear creates a very different voice quality at the end. Oh, and that voice quality is what we call M2. You might have heard it's called head voice, falsetto, and a lot of other names. But M2 is the core mechanism that, supports that. So M2 is what? It's when the vocal folds are still vibrating, just like in your normal modal voice, as in M1. But with M2, there's like a little chink that's introduced, a little hole between the two vocal folds, if you will. And so it gives that inherently slightly breathy sound. Oh, oh, instead of a oh, oh, at the same pitch that gives a more full-bodied sound. So we'll try to just avoid these pitches for now so that we can have a better, nicer textured sound. So let's try this. Back to the sentences. Now from here, oh, let's go for low-ish pitch, rather. Oh, can you match my pitch here? Oh. Okay, so let's go lower. Oh. Okay, let's tap it. Oh, 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 oh. Good. And now, oh, 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 oh. Good. And then from here, oh, 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 that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Very good. That mad brat sat on that mat. So we're still a little bit dark. So now we go back to setting our voice to be brighter. But we make sure that we aim for the same pitch. We don't want to do that mad brat. No, we want to stay on that mad brat. Same pitch. All right. Try it out.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Yes, that sounds very good. Awesome. Now let's try and move the pitch around a little bit. That mad brat sat. Da 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 da.
That mad brat sat on...
It's okay. Give them a try. That mad brat sat.
That mad brat sat...
Careful. Yeah, so this was interesting. We got that mad brat on M2 and then sat back on M1, right? So that's really interesting. You are kind of getting that sudden shift, and it's a bit uncontrolled. Da 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 da. Around like, what's the pitch here? Around like this range here, right? And this is for most people where that voice break will happen. It can be like a bit of an instability due to how you're controlling your voice, due to how much vocal fold mass you have there. It's easier to stay locked in M1, so like towards lower pitches, if you use more vocal weight. So like trying to be thicker, like because then you really sustain that closure and that muscle, and you kind of like prevent the vocal folds from like suddenly switching to that M2 sound, right? So you can try to be a little bit louder to avoid that from happening. Let's try this again. From here. That mad brat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Okay, very good. And now, that mad brat sat. We try to say like full volume. That mad brat sat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Yes, you got it. It didn't flip into M2. And let's go down now. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Stay kind of monotonous at the end, but that's very good otherwise. Now let's try to do something that sounds a bit more normal. So let's try that mad brat.
That mad brat.
Very good. Careful that sounded a bit dark. That mad brat. Otherwise, the pitch intonation, the pitch movement, the intonation was really good. But careful. That. So let's try. That. That.
That.
Yes. Mad brat.
Mad Brad.
Yeah. Let's try this now. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Nice, that's really good. It was a bit monotonous at the end, but that mad brat sat on that flat mat. That's really good otherwise. All right, awesome. So that is pretty much it. How do you feel about your voice so far? I feel like we achieved like quite fem sounds.
Yeah, that's awesome. The pitch intonation up and down is what I've been struggling with a lot, so
Yeah.
it's exactly what I wanted to work on. And the difference between thick and thin was I didn't think about volume control and falsetto, so
Yeah. So basically, yeah, as you might have noticed, you have like that break that happens very easily. As I said before, M1 and M2 are very different mechanisms. M1, you will find the vocal folds close. Oh, actually, you know what? I can do like a better slide on this. Give me a sec. Nope, that's not right. Yeah, okay, like this. So here you can see like, has it loaded for you yet first?
yes.
Okay, nice. So as you can see here, when you use like heavier vocal folds, they tend to like, you know, close more easily, right? Like there's more mass. It's easier for the vocal folds to make contact. And so when you have a thinner sound, you know, the vocal folds are generally closing more loosely, if you will. Although you can control the closure, the opening and closing of the vocal folds independently from the vocal fold mass, although the mass changing can have an impact on how your vocal folds close and open. And in this case, you have a really soft voice. I mean, like, even your masc voice is like really like gentle and soft, right? Like you don't have like a really heavy, thick sound, right? And so, as I mentioned before, M2 tends to have a less texture and less weight to it. So it can be more easy to go from a thin M1, and here I'm in M2, I'm in falsetto, because I stayed thin the entire way through. So of course you don't want it to be like, right? You don't want to sound like thick the entire way through, because that's not going to sound nice either. But like a combination of both things, where like as you go higher, you gently let go of weight. So, right? And you can completely eliminate that break. Instead of having like that, you can have right? No break at all. And that's kind of what you want to aim for on the long run. But this asks for you to like control a little bit how you change the vocal fold mass. As you notice here, because we kept the vocal fold mass a little bit on the thicker side by being a little bit louder to help us here, it got you to stay in M1, and we didn't have that flip into Mickey Mouse or falsetto territory, right? So that's what you want to be looking at if you're first working like the lower end of the fem voice. Lower in quotation marks, because let's be honest, this is not really low. At least for a masc voice, this is pretty high. For a fem voice, it's like a good medium range anyways. So,
Yeah, I'm fine with my pitch, so
I think you can go beyond and really far. I don't know how far you can go, but I'm sure you can do some crazy things. All right, Mitho, I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope to see you around, and best of luck with your voice practice. Everyone give a big round of applause to Mitho! Woo!
thank you.
Good job. All right, and with this, we will conclude today's workshop. However, 1B and Rory, do we have any questions from the Discord or the Twitch? Oh. No questions? Nope. Okay, no questions from Twitch and no questions from Discord. I'm guessing 1B is saying. All right. So then, in that case, I'll be wrapping up. We are, after all, a little bit late on schedule. So I'll be wrapping up this workshop. Thank you so much for showing up today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's workshop. I'll be seeing you again next Sunday, as per usual. If you want to learn more about I'll answer that after the workshop is over, Valerie. So anyways, if you want to learn more about voice, you can always, shoot me a message on Discord at savvy_sav, all in lowercase letters. And if you want, you can join my Discord server. You can click my bio here in the vrchat. It will bring you to Scientifically Augmented Voice, which is my very own server. I do public lessons over there, and you can do some voice work there if you want, but I also do public lessons, so you can just listen to them just like this workshop and learn even more about voice. So you can do all of this, and if you want to maybe do public lessons or private lessons with me, just hit me up on Discord. I'd be more than happy to let you know about pricing, offering, and what not, and maybe some voice advice if it's a easy enough question to answer. All right, so I'll be wrapping this one up. Thank you so much, Rory, and thank you so much, 1B, for helping me host this workshop today. Sorry it ran a bit late. I tried my best here. But anyways, I'll see you all around in the next one. Let me do the end of the workshop blurble. Hey everyone, my name is Savvy. I teach voice feminization,
Voice and masculinization.
I also teach voice acting, singing, and a funny thing called human beatboxing with sounds such as... If you want to learn any of this, you can just send me a message on Discord and I'll be happy to tell you more about it. All right. Say bye everyone to Twitch. Bye Twitch and bye YouTube. We'll see you around. Bye-bye.